Oscar Pistorius is out of prison and he's at home. Reeva Steenkamp's family has welcomed these strict conditions under which Pistorius has been paroled. For more on this, we are now joined by June Steenkamp's lawyer, Tania Steenkamp. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. The Steenkamp family released a statement earlier on saying that they do understand that within justice there is parole. Now that Oscar Pistorius is back home, what's the true feeling amongst the family?
Well, it's my job as an attorney to always manage the expectations of my clients. So June has always known the day will come, Barry has always known the day will come when Oscar Pistorius would be released on parole, the same way that any other offender in terms of South African justice system is entitled to be released if the parole board finds that they can do so, based on the information that's placed before them. So June has always said that her focus has never been on Oscar Pistorius. During the trials, during the victim offender dialogue, whenever anything happens, she's always said her focus is not on him. Her focus is on her and Barry's journey to accept every day that Reeva is never coming back. And her focus now, as in the past, will remain on the Reeva Steenkamp Foundation to continue Reeva's legacy. So she doesn't feel any different today than she did yesterday.
Most certainly. There was a very heavy media contingent outside the facility where Oscar was expected to leave from this morning. Was the family aware that he had already left that facility?
No, the family was not aware that he's already left the facility. And again, I say, it doesn't matter to June. June has been quite clear about that for her to survive this journey of living every day without Reeva, her focus cannot be on Oscar. It has to be on surviving every day. And she's always said that, and she still feels that way.
And of course,
as long as everything,
yes.
Sorry,
no, you may
as long as, what Barry always said, and he's been quoted many times in the media, as long as it happens according to the law, as long as there's no favoritism and Oscar Pistorius is treated the same way any other offender is treated, all they've asked for is that they must be abided by the law.
And do you believe that those steps were taken, that he was treated fairly, and that these decisions were made in a process that was fair and unbiased?
I do believe so. I believe that the parole board took into account the information that was placed before them. The profile of Oscar Pistorius was placed before them. June did a victim impact statement, a very powerful statement. And she said in that statement that she doesn't believe he is rehabilitated because she doesn't believe his version. But having said that, she also had issues and fears regarding, in her view, his tendency to have anger issues, and of course also she gave examples of previous girlfriends who also, in her view, was subjected to some violence which she termed as gender-based violence. And the parole board took that into consideration. They imposed conditions on Oscar's release, two of which was that he would attend courses on gender-based violence and anger management courses. So she feels heard. She feels that the correct message has been sent out to society that gender-based violence will not be tolerated. So, yes, she does feel that the process was conducted fairly and justly.
Speaking, Tania, of those conditions that have been imposed, personally, how do you think that Oscar's behavior and progress during his incarceration impacted on those conditions? Like you mentioned, the fact that he has to go for anger management courses, there's no drinking or the use of substance abuse that is allowed during this point in time. How do you think that really correlated to how he behaved while incarcerated?
So I don't have access to the reports on how he behaved while incarcerated. But again, I have to have faith in the parole board. I trust that they considered what was placed before them. They would have had psychologist reports, social workers reports, the case management committee would have compiled a very detailed report. So I trust that what was placed before them, they took into consideration, and if he had misbehaved or didn't follow the programs that they wanted him to follow, it would have formed part of his profile.
And how do you respond to critics who argue that Oscar should have served his full sentence?
I say that Oscar must be dealt with in exactly the same manner that any other offender is dealt with. That is our law. Our law states very clearly that if an offender has served a certain portion of their sentence, they can be considered for placement on parole, and if the parole board finds that they have adhered to whatever their requirements are, and they can decide what weight they place on what is placed before them, then of course he must be placed on parole if they find that he's not a danger to society and if he ticks all their boxes. So that is our law. And I am a law-abiding citizen. June and Barry have always said the law must take its course, and the law has taken its course.
Lastly, Tania, June has spoken that now her focus is certainly going to be on working on the foundation. What could we expect in terms of the work that she's looking to do in honor of Reeva?
So we go to schools, we chat to children about bullying and abuse, because we do believe it starts at primary school level. Now in December on the 22nd, we did an outreach to a poor community or a less advantaged community where we gave 270 gifts to them. So it's a bit of an outreach. And what we're particularly proud of is that we award a final year law bursary annually to a law student. So we will continue with that. We will continue to assist men, women, children, whoever approaches us with protection orders to guide them and educate them as to what their rights are. I don't think that June at this moment in time is emotionally really because of Barry's passing, which she's still taking that quite, it's very difficult time for her. But I think now that we hope that this chapter can be closed, for June specifically, we will start with a new vigor to continue the work that we're doing.
Well, we certainly do that. She will have all the strength that she needs in order to continue with that work. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. That's June Steenkamp's lawyer, Tania Steenkamp, speaking to us there about the release of Oscar Pistorius and how June is now going to be taking forth with regards to the foundation in honor of Reeva Steenkamp. Thank you so much for your time.